So what we're going to do now, we're going to make sure when we click on this button, right, from the activity main, it's going to call, right, I'm going to launch that, then we don't have to wait. So when you launch that, it's going to show that page first. When I click on that, it's supposed to call and show the geometric, right, activity, this page. That's what we want to do, right? Just bring you to another page, right? So first, we need to understand how to register an action to the button, right? So the button should be the same concept as what we learned in Chapter6. So this is a Chapter6. When you do extend application, you have to implement start, right? And this one actually I registered to a combo box, so it's just like a button too, but this one I will set on action, right? And we do e lambda, right? And whatever you want to do, just inside that curly braces. So same concept here. Now first we need to get the ID of that button, which is named geometric btn, right, into the main activity code, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to call button as a type and geometric btn, right, equals to, so this one we're going to cast that, right, the one that we do from the ID, right? Read content by ID, right? Find view by ID, right? Find view by ID r dot ID, and we give the object ID as geometric button here. So now next step, pretty much the same, right, concept. We want to add the action, right? Set on click listener, right? So there are many actions you can do, right? On drag listener, on focus, on hover, on key, on scroll. There are many listeners, right? Now we talk about button that we click on click listener, right? So we like basically we talk about like lambda like that, right? Right. So E pretty much just the name can be replaced, right, with anything. So now what we want to do is the lambda itself actually coming from, maybe talk about this code a little bit, right? So view can be a lambda like that, right? So and then you, whatever you want to do, you can just call here, like this one, just try to call the function, or you can do any system that out here. But inside the lambda, when you're expanding it, it's actually called another class name on click listener. Okay, class or interface, but you can learn what does that mean. But for now, I'm going to class because you understand the concept of class. So and it's going to be this on click listener that it has to handle on click, and you do something inside. So that's why what we want to do here, we're going to change this to, right, new, like you create a new class name on click listener, and it's pretty much just inserted code for you because that is the method that we want to do on click, right? And let's test if we can do like print hello clicking button. Okay, so just to make sure it's coming from this one. Now let's test that, right? So we have to, right, redeploy that, and I'm going to click the button and see if we see the output on the console here, right? hello clicking button. Right, so let's listen to the action. Now we don't want it to print this, so we're going to delete this, right? We know it's function, that's what we want, but we actually want to set the content, right, view to show difference view now, which is just swapping the XML file, which is that R, right, under RES, these are XML, right? So we're gonna go to activity geometrics. So you swapping the view from that activity main view, go to new view, and we reload the code, right? So once we click the button geometric calculator, so it's just come to geometric calculator view, right? So we can change the title too, right, from my application. So I'm changing the title by just adding set title here, right? So mathematics calculators, so that will change the title here. Right, so but it's not changing the second one because it's still under this main activity, but swapping the view, right? So now we're going to enter the radius, right, and see if we can like hit enter and then update, right, the values from the class that we just created, right, mathematics, right, and pass that value from the user in to the file area and return the values. So we're gonna get to code, right, to get the values from activity geometrics. So from this ID radius edit text, right? So go to geometric activities here. So we're gonna say the type is the edit text, right? And we said radius. So let's import that. And we're gonna call edit text, right, which is this is the, let's get the instance name radius edit txt equals to, which we will read it from find view by id r dot, right, r dot id, right, and we have the name radius edit text right there. So this should be able to take the value from the user input. So once the user input, so let's say if we can just, let's say I just keep testing to see, right, that's a good way to do that. We can actually get the right text from the user input into the program first. Or I can use the one that I'm going to do both, because I also have the output, if you remember, right, which it's not edit text, it is the text view, right? So I'm going to use text view, and the name is, the other one is right here, right, area text view, right? So that's the name. I want to update that, right? The area is, so I'm going to name area text view. So this should be text view type that we cast it, and find view by ID gonna be the area text view, right? And just need to import this in. All right, so when you do alt enter by clicking on the rate text, hold on alt and enter, it's going to import statement that we need for you with Android Studio. So that area text view, what we want to do, we pretty much just want to update, right? So update by set text, right? And it's the area is, so we can just concatenate back to the value that we get in, and we're going to use the method that we created earlier under mathematics, right? So we're going to say mathematics, right? And it's going to import that for you under calculators, and we're going to call the method, say, find area, right? And pass in the radius edit text, get text, right? But get text is going to be, it's not double. We have to change this to double, and we can use the parser, right? Double dot parse double and pass a string in. So that will pass in, let's see, get text returning, oh, it's returning editable, right? So it's not returned, then we change it to string, right? It's not written exactly string, so that's how we do it. Change the text to string, and then pass into parsers double, which change it to double. Then find is going to be able to calculate it and return area. So let's see if we have this code correctly, and it's going to print too, in case that we want to see if it's print out correctly too. Geometrics, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just put something 5. Okay. Now, like we said, there's no action yet, right? So this one cannot just change it by itself, right? So we have to have something to trigger it to make this action happen. Like just let the button click and make it to change or print out. So there's no action. So let's put the action to radius. So let's see if we can set the action on the edit text, right? So we have set on click listener, set selections. This time we're gonna try using set key listener. Okay. Now we need to do new key listeners, right? Same concept, just like the other one we do on click listener, right? So this is on key listener, right? So let's look at this again. So we cannot, right, make a change without actions, right? So what we need is put the action to the radius edit text, and the action that we want to get is we want to get the add text change listeners, which we have to use new text watcher, right? So whenever there's a change, so I want it to put, right, put this thing, update the, so this is before text change or on text change, right? Or after text change. So let me try with after text change. We're going to update the area. Now, one thing that we have to change is in the main activity here. If we set content view, it just swap the view, right? It's not going to call the action in this class and do things that need to be done. Like we can see earlier, that is never changed it to geometric calculators, to stay as mathematical calculators. So what we have to do, we have to use intent instead, right? I equals to new intent. Okay. And this has to be get get context, right? Let's look at like this, get application context and class for the second one. So get application context, comma, and the second screen, which is a geometric activity dot class, and then we just do start activities and pass in the intent I, right? So this is just with the y,